Are you above getting help? Are you above getting help in your marriage, in your relationship? Yesterday we talked about saying, I've tried everything, I've done it all. And our question is, but have you? Hi, I'm Tracy.
And I'm Tate.
And we are love and relationship coaches. And we are here to guide couples through the murky waters of relationship to come back to finding that spark again.
Like us, follow us, comment. If any of this resonates with you guys, engage. We're here for you.
And if not, you could just turn this video off now. So back to our topic. Have you tried to get help? How many of us cannot get the help or support we're looking for purely because we won't ask
or allow
or look for or more than anything accept the fact that we need help?
This is the
Do you think that's been hard for you?
catch-22 though, right? Because we talk about keeping things within the marriage,
Well, there's a difference between
Right.
actually having
So
a
we need to
therapist
explain.
and a coach, a mentor that you go to, and just your random family and friends.
right.
I am the biggest advocate for any type of coaching. I think every coach needs a coach. I think if you even look at the top coaches out there, it's like Tony Robbins has a coach. Like everybody has a coach, and there's zero shame in having help. I think it's the opposite. I think it's really the best thing for you. You need somebody to listen. You need somebody to give you feedback. We get stuck in our own fucking way. And I think the only way out is through, and through that, we need help. But
Yeah, I mean, this is
we're not all willing.
You can go the route of therapist and psychology, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I'm not advocating for anything different. I just believe that in today's world, with the amount of people waking up to their truth, basically, there's a ton of people out there now that are willing to share experiences
Right.
that help far beyond medication or diagnosis or whatever you want to call it. And this is where, it's tough. Well, you're not a
PhD.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. But I know there are tons of people out there that don't carry a piece of paper, but are so well informed and
like us. I mean, to me it's a combination of lived experience and study. I mean, we have so much lived experience, but also certifications, all the things, the classes, the knowledge. It's a combo. But I remember when I did my first life coaching class ever, now 9 years ago, and I don't think it was as popular now. Now there's a coach for everything,
Sure.
which actually I think is great. Like, you name it and you have a problem with it, and there's a coach for it. And again, I think before maybe that sounded silly, but it's like, why not? Like, if this is your expertise or your passion, if you've lived through it, why not let somebody guide you? But the first thing that we learned is, what's the difference? Because I don't think a lot of people understood, like, between like a coach and a therapist. And again, the difference, the piece of paper. And I think this is so true, and people could argue, or you could tell us how you feel, but I think a life coach, and whatever you want to call it, life coach, self-help, whatever kind of coach, helps you go in a forward motion. They help you from where you are stuck here to get to here. And a lot of what therapy does, like traditional, is really go back. It's a lot of times going back, getting stuck in the past. I had a client at the very beginning who I remember said, wow, it's been so helpful working with you for just a couple weeks. I've had the same therapist for 15 years, and I go to the same therapist every week for 15 years. And I feel like we don't ever stop talking about the same issues.
That's because they can't get a paycheck.
Right. Well, yeah. But so there's a lot of going back to the past. And with coaching, we use your past, but to go to the future. So we go back, we look at it, we acknowledge it, especially when we're talking about marriage, right? We talk about this all the time. Our trauma that we carry from the past is why we're showing up shitty in our relationship. That's the truth. But we're not going to dwell in there, right? Like, we're going to look at it, we're going to acknowledge it. Oh, wow, because your dad this, your mom that. Wow, doesn't this make sense now? Once we help you make sense of it, now how do we use that to move forward? Not be a victim of it, not be stuck there. And there's a huge difference. But anyways, all that being said, I just think it's priceless. Any coach that I've had, program that I've done, whether even if it's an online self-paced workshop I've been to, I will always say it's the best money ever spent. And some of the ones I've been to were some of the most triggering fucking things in my life, where in the middle of it was like, I paid for this. Like, I I paid to feel the shitty, the sad. I paid for someone to be yelling at me a few times. And then at the end of it, like the breakthrough, you're like, oh, fuck yeah. Like you can't, it's priceless.
Well, when you open your mind to, maybe a little different perspective, I know for me, when I have done work with coaches or mentors, I always learn something little or big. There's always a little nugget that I take with me. There's always
the little things sometimes are even bigger though. Right?
And then like you said, the way that I was pushed to do certain things to break loose from old patterns and things like that. I've been to a therapist. I've been to several therapists in my life, and while they were kind, well, one was kind. It was like, okay, I'm here again. You're asking me the same questions over and over again, and we rehash this. And I always asked, because I'm kind of an asshole, like, what are we working towards here? Like, what's the goal? And there was never a plan. And I think for coaches, good ones, they want to see you succeed, right? They want to see you move forward past whatever it is that's holding you back. Their goal isn't to keep you around. Their goal is to give you
the tools, right?
Their goal isn't to keep you on a constant, cycle of, well, remember that time Dad said this, cool, that happened. Now let's do this. And that's the point of a coach, right? And I think the world is opening their eyes up to, the endless amount of information in the world. People are relying on themselves a lot more with believing in what they think is accurate versus being told what to do. And I think, it's a huge opportunity for everybody, coaches, not coaches, to learn from each other, because we all have experiences that matter and that can be, advantageous to anybody else that's paying attention or listening.
I'm gonna give us a self-plug too.
Do it.
Just again, I think part of this for me was just to, say who we are, once again, reintroduce ourselves. But there's something that I think is special and really supportive about how we offer coaching.
Archery?
Yeah, archery.
We're learning archery over
I
here.
actually want to learn how to shoot crossbow. Anyways, is that, sometimes we work with couples together, like 2-on-2. Sometimes it's separately, 1-on-1. But to be able to bring in sometimes to either side the other's perspective. So I could be working with a woman, and if she feels comfortable bringing in Tate at times, because like we talk a lot about the male and female roles and how it's two different perspectives. And when you can understand what your partner's going through, but when it's not your partner, it's really helpful, right? Because when you're stuck in your shit, you don't necessarily want to hear your husband's point of view because, you're in the resentment blame game. But if you could hear from a different man, and this isn't saying to, make excuses or justifications, but like, let me tell you, if I was in that situation, how my brain as a man would be working.
Right.
It could be really helpful for then her to be like, oh, okay, so maybe, she could come to her own conclusions. We're not telling you how to think either, but it's helpful. And again, both sides, man, woman, whatever. So there's a lot of things that we can offer in that way. But really my point with this is when you are stuck in your own way with I already know the answers, or maybe you've already even done some work. I personally know I will never stop doing work. I will never stop being in a class, doing work, reading a book, because you're never there. There's never the finish line, right? There's always more to learn. And the more you really open up to this work and let your ego aside, I don't know. I blow my own mind sometimes with going like, shit, I really thought I got over that. Or like, I thought I was really good at this. And I'll give myself credit, like maybe I was better than I was before, but you could always get better, do better. And with that comes more joy, more happiness, more expansion in your relationship, in your life. There's always more to gain. But, it was just for me to piggyback off yesterday, like, have you done all the things? Have you done enough?
Yeah. What's the price for you? Is your relationship, what's the cost of your relationship? What's the cost of your life?
I say like cost versus value, right? Like,
so do we want to make change, or do we want to keep repeating old patterns?
Yeah. And I'd really think about that archetype, the I got this, or the know-it-all, which both used to be me. They're like, I got this, I got it.
Yeah, we all want
to
do
do
that.
You? And it's okay. It's literally no shame to say you don't. That's why we're here to help.
That's why couples that are in sync typically can admit to each other, I don't have this figured out, versus one being like, oh no, that person's wrong, or I got it.
Right.